Welcome into Digital Serve. I'm Prim Saripapat alongside senior writer for ESPN.com, Greg Garber. So that's a wrap for the 2013 U.S. Open. A lot happened, so we're going to make it easy for you. We're going to wrap it up and break it down in 5 categories. And actually, Greg's going to wrap it up for you. So
that's what I hear.
So, Greg, let's begin. Biggest surprise.
I think we have 3 to choose from here, Prim. We could start with Victoria DeVal, the 17-year-old from America, who stuns former U.S. Open champ Sam Stosur in the very first round here. What about Flavia Pennetta, the unseeded Italian, gets to the semifinals here? Who saw that coming? And finally, what about 32-year-old Leighton Hewitt? He takes down Juan Martín del Potro, the former 2009 champion here, and ultimately gets to the 4th round of the U.S. Open at the age of 32.
So a lot of new faces and yet a lot of old faces
Yeah.
as well. So how about biggest disappointments?
Well, I think that's easy. I think Roger Federer, we've been waiting for the decline. He started the season ranked number 2 among ATP players. He slid to 6, and yes, we saw it. He got knocked out by Tommy Robredo in the 4th round, and so that's not a good effort. That's a 2nd round at Wimbledon, 4th round here, and you sort of see the end coming. I'd also like to mention the Americans, John Isner and Sam Querrey. Tim Smyczek is the last American standing. No one in the 4th round, first time ever, and Aggie Radwanska was also a casualty, losing to Ekaterina Makarova in the 4th round.
But I agree. I think Roger Federer was the biggest disappointment compared to last year, where he won 6 titles, won Wimbledon as well, raised all the way up to number 1 in the world, and then this year only 1 title. Speaking of disappointments, in the doubles world, particularly on the men's side, the Bryan brothers on the verge of history, but they were unable to capitalize on that, Garbs.
It was an incredibly exciting run. Bob and Mike Bryan, they hold 4 Grand Slam titles coming into this one, including the Olympics. We were at Wimbledon. We saw it. We felt the excitement. They came in here. It looked like they might do it. They overcame an early deficit in a 3rd round match. But Radek Stepanek, Leander Paes, just a little too much. 40-year-old Leander Paes just caught fire all of a sudden. Their
They
semifinal
kind of had their
match.
number too, as
they
well.
did. As a matter of fact, they did. The Bryans lose, but there's no shame in that. They win 3 of the 4 majors this year. They're 35 years old, and I look for them to be a real force next year as well.
But still, they lead with a number of matches that they've won, the number of games, the number of tournaments, and also they've won more Grand Slam singles or doubles titles more than anybody else.
Look at you.
Well, trying to bring something up. All right, on the women's side, once again, Serena Williams defeats Victoria Azarenka in 3 sets for another U.S. Open title. What did you take away from this one?
My takeaway is that Serena's the best. At the age that she's at, she and Roger Federer are roughly the same age. Serena is still going strong. She's the biggest threat. She wins a 2-hour, 45-minute match with Victoria Azarenka, who is 7 years younger than she is. It's time for Azarenka to start beating her, and yet it's not happening. So Serena plows through there. She has 17 majors. She's 1 behind Chris Evert and Martina Navratilova. And oh, by the way, tied with a guy named Roger Federer with 17.
And just 1 behind, yeah, as you said, behind Martina Navratilova and Christy Evert. And then on the men's side, Rafael Nadal took down Novak Djokovic. This was their 37th meeting, which is the most to the Open era, most meetings between 2 guys. What did you take away from that match?
Novak Djokovic has the best return of serve in the game. He's probably the most fluid. He's probably the most flexible. He stretches 2 hours a day, and yet he can't beat Rafael Nadal in the big spot. He's 3-8 in majors now. He lost a 4-set men's final, and you have to feel for the guy. I mean, he had incredible heart. He was on fire in the 2nd set. He could have won the 3rd set, and yet he just couldn't do it. Rafa was a little better. Rafa, by the way, inches his way up the Grand Slam standings, and now he's closing in on Pete Sampras 1 away and only 4 away from Roger Federer. And who would have thought that 7 months ago when he was out with those bad knees? Pretty
amazing. So in the end, Rafael Nadal and Serena Williams walk away with $2.6 million plus for winning the U.S. Open Series, another $1 million. That's not so bad.
It's more than we got.
Yeah, definitely. But it's been an enjoyable 2013 U.S. Open nonetheless. For Greg Garber, I'm Prim Saripapat.